now we're in chapter 5, and chapter 5 is something called elasticity. Now, while we already know, or at least you should know, that the demand curve is downward sloping and that there's a general relationship of price to quantity demand, what elasticity helps us to do is to calculate the exact responsiveness of consumers to a change in price. And we can also do this for producers to a change in price, impact on income, impact on the price of other goods. But here I'm just going to be focusing on, this is going to be 2 videos, focusing on the calculation of elasticity. And there's basically 3 different ways to figure out elasticity or infer elasticity. And I'm going to go over the first 2 in this little video. This first method is called percentage, and it's really, shall we say, the theoretical or behavioral impact of consumer responsiveness to a change in price. So here's the general formula: percentage change in quantity demand over the percentage change in price. Now, to calculate the percentage, it's always going to be the change over the base from where it is you're starting from. So let's say that we are doing a change from A to B, and that would be going from a price has dropped from $5 to $3, and the quantity goes from 8 to 10. If we were to do the percentage change in quantity demand, it's going to be, starting from this point, it's going to be 2 over 8 over 2 over 5. But the big thing is, let's calculate this number right here. So when you have a fraction over a fraction, you can easily convert that to something easy, like this: 2 over 8 times 5 over 2. You multiply by the reciprocal, take that out, and this becomes 5/8. And when you have 5/8 like that, as you'll learn later, this 5/8 is actually below 1 and it's inelastic. Now that's all well and good as we're going from A to B, but what about the other way, changing the increasing the price from 3 to 5, so from B to A. So if we do that, percentage change in quantity demanded, this is going to be the same, 2 over 8, but now we have got change over the base, 2 over 3, and this is going to be 2/8 times 3/2, cancel, cancel. Now we've got 3/8. The numbers are different, 5/8 to 3/8, even though we have the same actual change that is going on. And this is not really reflective and doesn't really tell us anything interesting. And there needs to be a way to convert these changes so that we get the same change, whether it is an increase or decrease in the price. And the way to do that is something called the midpoint method. Now, your book has a kind of a complicated way of doing the midpoint method with regard to Q1 and Q2. I always like to make it simple and consider the change over the midpoint. The midpoint is the middle point between the range. In this case, the midpoint is 4, and the midpoint is 9. So now we have the change in quantity demand. This would be 2 over 9. 2 over the midpoint there. And here it would be the change in price, 2 over 4. Or 1/2. 2/9 times 4 over 2. We have 4/9. And this number will be the same whether you have an increase or a decrease in the price. And so generally, when you're given problems to calculate it, if you know all four numbers, the first and second price and the first and second quantity, you will undoubtedly have to calculate the midpoint method. And whenever I give test questions, I will say calculate the elasticity using the midpoint method. So definitely know this formula right here. All right, that ends our first section for elasticity. In our next section, I'll go over something called total revenue method.